Hi everyone, welcome back. Carmine from New York. We're back in the studio today. This is class 101. We're over 100 classes here on YouTube for my photography buddies, people who are interested in photography, or people who just want to be entertained by me. How's everybody? Today is May 12th, 2022 here in New York City. Just want to have a little bit of a different class today. You'll see we have a guest here today, the Moskva 5 6x9 medium format film camera, brought to you from Kiev, built in the Arsenal manufacturing plant. They built bombs, tanks, and when this was built, they made cameras. Very interesting historical camera, especially in the events going on today. If you want to know more about this camera, go to class number 33, a video I made over 60 classes ago. All right, guys, let's get into it. What are we going to talk about today? Many of my friends have too much camera equipment. They've realized that they have accumulated too many tripods, camera bodies, lenses, flashes, etc. So what do? There's a couple of choices, right, of what you can do with your gear that you want to thin out, let's just say. So there's a couple of ways you can scale back on your camera equipment. I have my notes here. Things that I do. This is first-hand knowledge. I've been a photographer for 50 years. I have accumulated camera equipment for the same amount of years. So I have a few ways, 3 ways, that I thin out the herd, so to speak. What I do is, if there's somebody in my family that's interested in photography, or might be interested in photography, or has said that they like a particular camera, and it's one of the cameras I'm going to thin out, I just gift it. Here you go. This is yours. And you have to show them how to use it, of course. And that's probably the best way, is to give your camera equipment as a hand-me-down, okay, as a gift. But there's a couple of others, 2 more options that I personally use. You can sell your camera and lenses, tripods, flashes, and other gear, even your camera bags, to online camera buyers. These are stores that will buy your camera gear and mark it up and resell it. Now, who have I dealt with? Primarily the online store, usedphotopro.com. usedphotopro.com. They are perhaps the nation's largest buyer and seller of used camera equipment. Okay. Now, they offer a few different ways to buy your gear, and I've used both of their methods. Most recently, if you go to usedphotopro.com, of which I am not an employee, they are not a sponsor. They don't know I'm doing this video. I am just a customer, let's just say. So, recently, I went to usedphotopro.com. They're based in Indianapolis, Indiana. I've never been to their store. On their website, you'll see there's a drop down of where in the United States they're holding buying events, not selling events, buying events. Now, this is how they do it. And this is first-hand knowledge because I've done this more than a half a dozen times. They will list on their website the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buying events in different states that week. For example, they'll go to a camera store in Long Island, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and they go to a camera store and they are allowed to set up a table with their computer, and it's listed the dates. It's usually a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or a Thursday, Friday, Saturday buying event. And you pack up your gear. You don't make a reservation. You don't call them. You just get the directions off of Google Maps. You get in your car and you go. Now, you show up with your gear, right? And this is what you have to know before you go. You have to know what approximately you will be receiving for your camera, lens, flash, etc. This is what you do. You line up all your gear at home. It's going to take some time. And you go on eBay, but you don't go to what they're selling for. You go to the sold, completed section of eBay, where this camera or lens that you're selling has already sold. This is what I do. You go to that section on eBay of the sold items. You look at the latest three cameras or lenses similar to yours, same condition, get an average. Okay, let's say one sold at $50, one sold at $60, one sold at $70, right? You add them up, divide by 3, and that's the average selling price. Now, this is what you have to understand. You're not going to get that price when you go and sell your camera at a buying event. You're going to get approximately 55% of what it sold for on eBay. Okay? So you might say to yourself, why would anybody in their right mind give up 45% of the value of their camera? Well, I've also sold on eBay, and eBay is not that pleasant for the seller. eBay is buyer oriented. Okay? Here's what I mean. You can sell, for example, a $700 Nikon camera to somebody on eBay. And you know that camera was in great condition, worked terrifically. You knew what the body looked like as far as scratches, wear, and tear. You knew what the battery compartment looked like, etc., etc. You knew it was working perfectly. You ship it off. Now, most buyers on eBay are nice, regular people. Some are resellers. You might be selling to a camera store, right? Or somebody that has no scruples. This is what happens. This is why selling at a buying event with used Photo Pro, to me, is more convenient and less hassle. The person that buys from you might contact you immediately and say, you lied about the condition of this camera, and you know full well that the condition of the camera is fantastic. They might say, not as described. What a person who is cunning might say to you, you know what, you have to give me something. I want a partial refund. Right? It's a scam. Now, if you have, as a seller, 100% positive feedback, you want to protect it at all costs. So they have you over a barrel. If you don't give them a partial refund, they'll give you negative feedback, and you no longer have 100% positive feedback. And how long does that last? A year. Okay? They might say things like, you lied about the condition, etc., etc., etc. So you really have no choice. You can ask for your money back. You can ask for the camera back, or the lens, or the flash. You can ask for it back and give them a full refund. That doesn't mean they're going to give you positive feedback. They might also, again, leave you negative feedback, ruining your feedback. Okay? So, Also, you have to understand, if you've got more than 1 or 2 items to sell, you have to find a box. You have to find or buy bubble wrap, right? You have to make a trip to the post office or UPS or FedEx, okay? You have to ship it out. You have to track it. You have to hope that a porch pirate doesn't steal it off their porch. There's quite a few things that you have to keep in mind of why you just might want to give up some money to sell to used Photo Pro. There's others. I just haven't used others, right? There's other camera stores, legitimate camera stores online that offer to buy your camera gear, all right? But you have to understand, you're not going to get the total amount of what you see that it's sold for on eBay. Come on, they have to make money. They're not in the business of buying your camera gear and using it. They're not photographers looking for gear to use. They're a store. They buy and then they resell it, and they have to make some money. Okay, so in my experience over the last 5 years of selling to used Photo Pro buying events across the country, there's a very good chance that if you wait, they will come to a city not far from where you live. Okay, I live in New York City, and I've gone to the buying events in Long Island, Pennsylvania, and Jersey. It's a nice trip. Okay, and they're very convenient. They're there 3 or 4 days, and then they travel on. Okay, so if you go there today, you'll see that they're all over. There's at least 4 all across the country, north, south, east, and west. They go to nearly every state. Okay, so what happens when you go to these buying events? I have one photo I will put at the end to show you what it's like. Okay, it's just a table. They have a computer. They first examine it. If it's a lens, they'll put a flashlight at one end of the lens, look through it. They're checking for cracks, scratches, haze, fungus, oil on the aperture blades. Okay, they're looking for smooth focus, smooth aperture. Are the blades snappy? Right? Do they open and close snappy? Right? So they're evaluating it. Then they put it in their computer. You can't see what they're looking at. They put it in their computer, and the computer, I imagine, tells them what to offer, right? Depending on condition: excellent, good, poor, inoperable, etc. Right? So they evaluate it, and then they make you an offer. They'll say, we'll offer you X, Y, and Z for all this gear that you brought. And if you agree to it, you give them your driver's license so they know who they're selling to, and you walk out with your money. Done. No shipping. Now, they now assume all of the headaches of a seller, meaning they now list it on their website, and I've bought many a camera and lens from used Photo Pro, right? They assume all the responsibility as far as their condition, does it work, all the headaches from the people that buy it. Oh, the whiners. Oh, there's a microscopic hair, blah, blah. I want to return it. Okay, that's what they assume. They assumed the role of the seller now. Okay, I wouldn't have done that many times if I didn't feel comfortable with used Photo Pro, right? I wouldn't have done it repeatedly if I didn't feel that they were fair. It's a business. You have to go into that knowing that it's a business, right? If you think your Kodak box brownie is worth $1,200 and you go to find out from them, from them that Kodak made, they made 7 million of these, and these really have no value, right? You have to understand that going in. So be a educated seller when you go to a used Photo Pro buying event. Have an idea, right? You go to eBay, sold listings. Look up the last 3 that sold that look like yours, right, condition-wise. Do the average. And then assume that you're going to get about 55% of what that sold for. Okay? It's a headache-free way of taking your gear, you put it in a box, you go to the buying event, you go, here, give me a price, and depending on how many pieces you have or how many people are online, because there have been many a times there's a line, okay, of people looking to sell their gear. Depending how long you're there, boom, make an offer good, okay, I accept it, and you're out with your money. And that's it. You don't have to worry about the tracking. Did the person get it? Did the person who bought you a camera, right, say you sold them your D3 mint condition digital camera, your Nikon D3, they took it and they dropped it, or their kid dropped it, and then they contact you and go, this is broken. You are going to be responsible for giving them a full refund. And then you get your camera back, and now you can't even resell it because it's busted. eBay is, remember what I said, they are buyer oriented. It's all about the buyer. The buyer has the rights. Okay? It's your word. When it's your word, the seller, against the buyer's word, the buyer will be victorious. Okay? So I'm talking from experience, right? 50 years. I've been a photographer, right? Buying and selling gear that I no longer use or don't even like, right? Bought it, used it, and like, this doesn't fit my type of photography that I do. Okay, so let's continue. Also, I want to give a shout out to another used camera online store that I've dealt with many times, mpb.com. They also buy used gear, but I don't sell to them. I just never did. No particular reason. I buy from them. Here's why I want to give MPB a shout out. I don't work for them either. They're not a sponsor. Okay? I'm just a photographer. MPB.com. Whoever their business, the chief executive officer, let's say, whoever that is, and they came up with a mantra, right? How to sell. This is what I'm trying to get at. They have a camera, let's say the Moskva 5, and that camera is in excellent condition. They will list it as being in good condition, and their prices are very reasonable. They have 4 or 5 pictures of everything they sell, right? You look at it, you go, I don't see anything wrong with it, right? But you don't know how the shutter works, right? You have to go on their word. And remember that now they sold it as good. You get it home, you open it up, and you go, holy moly, this is in excellent condition. This is not in good condition. This is in a level above. And this is not just one time this happened. This has happened dozens of times when I purchase from mpb.com. I don't know what it stands for, right? Let's just call it Mary, Paul, and Bob.com. So their business mantra is, we're going to list it a little bit less than what it really is, condition-wise, right? Let the consumer be thrilled with the condition. And it works. It is a business model that works. So kudos to mpb.com. Okay, now let's get back to selling to an online camera buyer. Now, I've also done this way with Used Photo Pro. It's very simple. You can do it on your phone, your cell phone, right? So there's a button on the usedphotopro.com website, right? It's easy. It's much easier if you do it on your phone, right? You put the type of camera, right? The condition, and you take 3 or 4 pictures of it. Click, click, click. right? And you send, within a day, you'll get an email back from Use Photo Pro. They'll say, based on the photos we've seen of your camera and your description, we offer you a tentative quote of XYZ. If you agree to that quote, they instantly send you, that you print on your printer, a shipping label. You wrap it up, bubble wrap, make it secure, put it in a box, tape it up, tape the free shipping label on it, and you bring it to wherever they deal with, whether it's UPS or FedEx or the post office, and you bring it, off it goes. Now, in a couple of days, they get it. Now, they're very busy. Leave them alone. It might take a week for them to get to your box. They open it. They do just what the Use Photo Pro buying event does, right? There's a person, a buyer, that looks at it with a flashlight. They check the aperture. They check, excuse me, the shutter speed, blah, blah, blah. Then they send you a final quote. It might be different than the tentative quote that you were sent. It might be different. It's been different for me, right? Up or down, right? If you agree, you click agree. They'll send you a check or however, whatever you agree on, right? Direct deposit, I don't know, but you get paid. In my case, they just send me a check. All right? So that's the second way, right? You can go to a Used Photo Pro buying event, right? UsePhotoPro.com. You just go, you just show up, you get a milk box, fill up your equipment. And we're talking about, they buy, like, when it comes to tripods, right? The good stuff, right? The Manfrottos, right? When it comes to cameras, it's digital and film cameras, right? Flashes, everything, right? Lenses, everything. All right. The more modern the camera and equipment is, right, the more you're going to get. The better condition, the more you're going to get. Okay. Rarity also plays a very big part. Now, that's one of the reasons why I brought this Ukrainian-made camera and I put it on display here. Okay. They might become more valuable. They may, or they may not. I don't know, depending on if there are any more left in the Ukraine, or Ukraine, I should say. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. So I told you what to expect money-wise when you sell your used gear, right? You're looking at getting about 55% of what it's sold on eBay, and no hassles. In other words, you'll get 55% and you won't get any headaches. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Oh, and the other thing about selling on eBay, they've raised their cut on what they get in camera gear because camera gear is so popular, right? It used to be 5%. It's not. It's higher. Oh, another thing, why you might want to choose to sell online, right? Well, go to an event, a buying event, a Used Photo Pro buying event. And I should have mentioned this before. Used Photo Pro is the used division of Robert's Camera. Okay. One other thing I forgot to say about selling on eBay is one reason why why a buyer wants his money back is because they have what's called buyer's remorse. They get their camera and their spouse, partner, or just themselves say, why did I spend this money on this? I can't pay my rent. Ugh. I'll make up something to get my money back. Not as described. Now you have to hope that they ship it back carefully, didn't drop it, right? That they just don't take your camera, throw it in a box with no padding, right, and ship it across the country. I can go on and on and on about the problems of being an eBay seller on camera gear. Okay. What else? So I think that's about it. I want to just let you guys know that if you have too much gear, right, you can sell it on eBay. You can sell it online to Use Photo Pro, MPB, many others, right? Get a quote, ship it to them for free, and then get a final quote, right, which may be different than your tentative quote. Okay. Bottom line, do I recommend selling it to, say, Used Photo Pro buying event over selling it on eBay? Yes. Is it worth leaving 45% of the value on the table, leaving that money on the table? Yes. When you've dealt with liars, people that have bought your gear and they're liars, you just get so frustrated, especially if you have 100% positive feedback and you know that they know that you cherish that and they have their finger on the button of negative feedback. And if you don't cough up 10% partial refund to quiet them, right? I can't tell you. I'm going to show you a picture right now of what it's like at a Used Photo Pro typical buying event. It's just a table with the gear on it, but I would find it interesting too. All right, guys, we've gone 26 minutes because this is very important. This is an important class number 101. You know what to do. Subscribe, give me a thumbs up, comment below, email me any question you have. Any question about what we talked about today or any of my other 100 classes. All right, email me. blackandwhitephoto@aol.com. I answer every email. I try and if I don't know the answer to your question, it might take me an extra day to answer it because I will spend a day online or asking a colleague about your question, and you will get an answer. You will get a correct answer from me. blackandwhitephoto@aol.com. Now, very important. I have collected thousands of my photographs, put them on a website, CarmineTaverna.com, and I've listed on most of the pictures the gear I used. Now, why did I do this? You can't buy anything from my website. I don't sell anything on my website. All right. This is to give you guys ideas on what to photograph. All right. I just made a little, they call them YouTube shorts, right? On PhotoBlock. I came up with that term. It's the equivalent to writer's block when a writer just can't type one more word on the computer when he's writing a book. PhotoBlock is when you have terrific gear, maybe like the Moskva 5, and you still know what to take pictures of. Go to my website. That's what it's there for. CarmineTaverna.com. It will inspire you on what you can take photographs of. Okay, guys? Free website. Free is free. Okay? So let's look at the, I think there's only one photograph of the buying event because, you know, it's taking pictures of people at work. That's like if people went to your job and took a picture of you at work, right? So anyway, thanks for watching. And let's look at the one picture I took at usedphotopro.com buying event. This is typical, by the way. Okay? Have a great day. Let's look at that picture right now.